briefly as an in-depth study to help me understand some of the dynamics behind a spontaneous awakening of the Czechoslovak people whose desire for freedom of movement, expression and an improvement in their economic conditions was immediately understood and acted on by Alexander Dubček. Alexander Dubček was the first secretary of the Communist Party in Czechoslovakia during Prague Spring. Secondly, I would like to analyze the reforms implemented on by the Communist Party of Czechoslovakia. These efforts at reforms were intended as an improvement in the economic and political system in Czechoslovakia, but they were interpreted by Moscow and by Brezhnev and all leaders of Warsaw Pact as an opening up to the capitalist system and as being similar to the Hungarian October of 1956. To continue with the season, we can say that the Prague Spring was not followed of a Prague summer, but a harsh 20-year long winter characterized by apathy, passivity and escapism. However, my choice of topic was determined for the most part by my personal admiration for the two leading statesmen of Prague Spring, Alexander Dubček, the first secretary, and Otto Schick, the Minister of Economic and Financial Affairs during Prague Spring. Otto Schick was the Minister of Economic, and then he was the author of the economic reforms. His total belief in the communism, in this economic and social model, gave him the strength to admit that this structure, the communist structure, could survive only by modifying it. He elaborated a new model called Third Way. His new model called surmount the shortcomings of a communist society without transforming it into a capitalist one. And the other leader, the Schick's party leader, was Alexander Dubček. Dubček wanted a different kind of communism, a communism close to the people, a communism for the people, and that governed with the people, based on the Marxist theory, which Dubček strongly supported, and not a communism based on bureaucracy, power, and lack of freedom. Dubček wanted his people to be proud to live in a communist state, where needs and advantages were shared, and not a people who hated to live in this country, to live in a communist state, and who dreamed only of running away from it. The Prague Spring was a short period who started at the end of the 60s. During this period, Dubček and Schick wanted to change the economic and political system in their country, wanted to improve, to give the government greater possibility in deciding what was best for the people without Soviet interference, because in all satellite countries there were a lot of Moscow interference, and Dubček and Schick elaborated two different plans. The Dubček plan is called the Action Program, and Otto Schick's plan was called the Third Way. During the Prague Spring, Alexander Dubček decided firstly to improve the economic and political system. Then he tried to elaborate a different kind of politics, far from Stalin politics, and he wanted to open the political system, because before Dubček's leadership, the political system of the all communist states were concentrated and were characterized for the centralized control also of the economy and of the political system. And Dubček wanted to open his political system and gave more freedom of his people. And Otto Schick wanted firstly bring together market elements and plan elements inside the central planning. He wanted less economic interference of Moscow. Schick also criticized the bureaucratic control of the economy of the Communist Party in Czechoslovakia and in all Eastern Europe, and did not like the control of the economy of the Communist Party, and also Schick did not like the ideological monopoly of the Communist Party, and he thought that in the communist country the people are less free than the people who lived in a capitalist country or in the western part of the world. And but Schick criticized also the capitalist system, because he thought that in the capitalist system could cause economic waste and unemployment. For this reason, he elaborated a different kind of economic system between the communist system and the capitalist system, with market element inside the central planning.
In her paper, she
talked about the music, but in particular he talked about Fabrizio De André, that probably Fabrizio De André make a song that probably resume all the papers. The War of Piero. In this song Fabrizio De André talk about a soldier that would not to kill his enemy, but the enemy doesn't rechange this courtesy, and the enemy kill him. And so probably is an example of the frailty of the man in relationship with the